evening, and welcome to viewers of the 83 stations in all parts of Australia who will be seeing this evening's Royal Charity Concert live from the Sydney Opera House.
What happens tonight is likely to be indelible in the memories of all who see it. Australians of world acclaim dispensing the magic of their talent before their Royal Highnesses.
In 1966, Helen Reddy won the Australian Bandstand Starflight Final, which took her to the US, a recording contract and international stardom with I Am Woman. Peter Allen began singing in the pubs of his hometown Tenterfield in northern New South Wales and became a major performer on Australian television. Worldwide success came with the release of I Go to Rio. Julie Anthony hit world headlines playing the lead in Irene in London's West End, which established Julie as an international performer, culminating with the award of the OBE in January this year. Chris Kirby, one of the world's best-known ventriloquists, made his international break with an appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1965. Since then, he has constantly toured the United States and England in between television performances.
Don loaned me some gold chains. Yes, I can see the green around your neck.
Regarded as one of the world's leading pianists, Roger Woodward made his international debut with the Warsaw National Philharmonic, receiving massive critical acclaim. Since then, his career has spanned the world. Olivia Newton-John was awarded the OBE last year, an honour in an incredible career which has taken her from Melbourne coffee lounges to the London Palladium and the New York Metropolitan Opera House. Only 7 years ago, Paul Hogan was a rigger on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Now he's Australia's best-loved comedian, combining a finely honed comic sense with digs at the Australian character. The Australian Ballet Company, formed 18 years ago, has achieved an enviable international reputation, and later this year will undertake its 11th world tour. Johnny Farnham, 5 times Australia's King of Pop, 5-time Logie Award winner. For 12 years now, Johnny has held his place as Australia's leading show business all-rounder.
One must remember that
Bert Newton, Australia's premier big event host, is a vital part of the Australian television scene. Awarded the MBE in the 1979 New Year's Honours List, he capped the year off by taking out the Gold Logie as Australia's favourite television personality. Tonight, Bert will be your host for the star-studded Royal Charity Concert.
The doors swing open, and now they see her, and there's an exclamation. The past 12 months have been particularly eventful for Her Majesty, the Queen's tour of countries of the Arabian Gulf, the tour of Africa, subject to the tightest security yet, especially at the Heads of Government Conference in Lusaka. Last August, the need to endure the killing of her beloved Earl Mountbatten of Burma. And so the demands continue day in and day out. But Her Majesty will really enjoy tonight, and so should all of us.
You just enjoyed then members of the Johnny Young Talent School and Marianne Davidson singing the song written by her father, Frankie Davidson. Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, the Government of New South Wales, the people of New South Wales, and the Nine Network welcome you to a concert in your honour. And the Government of New South Wales, through Mr. Neville Wran and his wife, Mrs. Wran, welcome you. As indeed they welcome the Governor of New South Wales, Sir Odin Cutler, and Lady Cutler. Tonight's concert is in aid of charities throughout New South Wales. From me, welcome to you, particularly members of the Fitzroy Football Club, and members of the Rooty Hill RSL. This is a very expensive setup for a very important television program. Neville Wran, this is your life. As you would realise, I'm joking. It was to have been Malcolm Fraser, but unfortunately he's now in strict training. We hope you'll enjoy this evening's performance. As I mentioned to you, tonight is for charities in New South Wales. We've done a very quick audit at the door, and there are still 2 people who haven't paid. Now, I beg your pardon, no. The books are now in order. My good friend Don Lane can't be here this evening. He's back in America doing a presidential candidature concert. He's a little behind the times. He thinks he's working for Harry S. Truman, but still, he'll enjoy it. Graham Kennedy can't be here this evening. He was to have been a guest in the audience, but there was some confusion about who should use the royal box. This evening's telecast, of course, is a very momentous one, not only for Australia, but indeed for the world. And this program is being seen right throughout the world. Tonight you see on stage performers who have started their show business careers here in Australia. People who have joined together tonight to present what we hope is going to be a very important part, not only of Australian television history, but indeed a very important part of Australian history. It's left to me now to say only one thing, and I hope it's momentous, because tonight we have worked very hard for you to prepare this evening. I say simply, on with the show. As you would realise, ladies and gentlemen, the state of New South Wales is not the first area in Australia to be graced on this trip by Her Majesty. Yesterday she officially opened the new High Court of Australia, and we do welcome her particularly for that ceremony. It might be of interest to you, this magnificent structure, which cost $50 million, has its first trial coming up Monday. It's the architect. This is most unusual for a compere of any event to have an artist give him the introduction that he or she requires, but on this bedraggled piece of note, it reads, "Dear Bert, tell the viewers to be sure they're in their right seats, because there's going to be a lucky seat prize." It's very hard to read crayon, I might mention it. Here now to draw the lucky number is a raffler whose honesty and integrity is below question. And anything else nice you can say about me. It's signed, Mr. Paul Hogan.
Where are they sitting? Where are they?
Silly fool, you ruined the whole...
Just wanted to have a gawk at them. They're gawking at me. Would you believe, viewers, that some of the mob behind this bun fight tonight didn't want me on it? I reckon I got too much anti-charisma. That's the ability to lower the tone of the whole evening just by turning up. No, they said this and this ain't no mixed prawn night at the local footy club, you know. This is the Sydney Opera House filled with the cream of society. Cream. There are one or two curdle faces about. Well, I'll admit there might be the odd VIP here. I noticed one odd VIP as I walked in. Neville Wran, the Premier of New South Wales. How you going, Nifty? He's sitting up there in the dearest seats too. Must have had a big win at the 2-up, mate. Oh, they said to me, this will be a highly refined, sophisticated sort of crowd. Well, what a terrible thing to say about you viewers. Highly refined. You know what happens to sugar when they refine it, don't you? They take all the goodness out and leaving it colourless and brittle. So my advice to you, if you see anyone near that looks a bit refined, keep away from them, they'll rot your teeth. And sophisticated, well, sophisticated means false, but I think they was trying to say it will be an intellectual crowd in tonight. Well, I don't mind intellectuals, I used to be one. And my idea of an intellectual is anyone with an IQ over 81, a vocabulary in excess of 30 words, and the ability to eat with a fork without poking holes in your cheek. And after watching you lot come in, viewers, I'm delighted to report that probably 2/3 have reached that standard. For the benefit of the other 1/3, who probably have difficulty comprehending the complexities of fractions, just look at the person on your left and the one on your right, and if they haven't got fork marks on their cheeks, you're probably the dill. So there's a confident man. Your Premier never ran, he never looked to the left or the right to find out where he fits in. No, I mean, he knows what he is. Nifty, me son, we all know what you are. I didn't mean that, mate. I was going to use that on Malcolm Fraser, but he never turned up. Yeah, Scalp, I give him $150 for his seat. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, when I first burst onto the show business scene back in '72, well, I didn't really burst onto it, sort of leaked, might be a better word, dribbled. But I started out as a musician. I haven't played in public since then, so I thought tonight as a special treat, a bit of nostalgia for people who have heard me play, and a special treat for anyone that hasn't heard me play, like, you know, newly arrived migrants. That, you know, I'd give you a tune tonight on the instrument that I helped make popular right around the world. So here we go with a little bit of colour and movement for the kiddies at home and those fraction people in the audience. Will you bring on the instrument, please? Give us a drum roll, Tom. Move on to go up there. Can you hear me? Now, ladies and gentlemen, bring it up, Sid. I'm making a fool of me out here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're about to hear, the garbophone is a truly beautiful instrument. Unfortunately, seldom heard these days outside of chamber music recitals. You can get a tune out of one of them too, yeah. This is a... Now, this is a great pity because this is truly regarded as the musician's instrument. I mean, that Roger Woodward, who was out here before me thumping away at the ivories, he would give his eye teeth to be able to play this. It's a lot easier to get onto a bus than a piano, isn't it? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and be thrilled to the back teeth as I play for you now some of the better tracks off my last 5 albums. Does everyone like Chopin? Good, here's a Beatles number. I'll draw the raffle and get off. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous door prize tonight is a fantastic 4-course dinner for 2 at my place. And the lucky winners, the lucky winning couple, are sitting in box U. In seats 5 and 6. Now, I have no idea who the lucky couple are, but I'm no snob and they're welcome at my place. It's just get yourself on the 174 bus from Chatswood Station. Tell the driver to let you off at Oak's place. Or listen, if the dogs go for you, keep your arms folded and smile at them. And just one thing, please, lucky couple, whoever you are, try and be there at 6 o'clock sharp, because the missus likes to have dinner over with and the washing up done by 7 when the Sullivans comes on, OK? Good night, viewers. Play us off, Tom.
Hogan. The message, Paul, from Mr. Nifty, I beg your pardon, from Mr. Neville Rand. He enjoyed the performance so much that now Paul has been booked solid by the government for the next 6 weeks at Long Bay.